Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I'm Mads, and before I start today's video, I just want to say a quick thank you to all of my subscribers. I have hit 100 subscribers, or I think I'm at 106 technically now. I actually haven't checked in a little bit, but I just wanted to say thank you so much. It just makes me so happy. I just had a really fun time making videos and making content that hopefully you guys really enjoy. So just thank you so much for subscribing and for dealing with me through all these videos. So that's my little intro speech today. I struggled with today's idea because I don't know, I just didn't know what to do really. But I put a poll on my Twitter, and out of all the options, 2 of them tied, and so my roommate was the tiebreaker. I'm sorry, Elsa, I know you wanted me to do my thoughts on popular books, and I promise I will do that. So today I am doing all the book series I need to finish, and I feel like most people would make this like a reading vlog of trying to finish them all right now. I cannot do that. I don't think I could mentally do that. So I'm just gonna go over all the book series I need to finish, and honestly, finishing all my book series has been a pretty good priority of mine lately. So I'll just like keep you guys updated on my progress with these. So let's dive into it. My drink of choice is still very hot, but it is a tea, a lemon ginger tea. The first book series I need to finish is a really big one, but I'm starting with it because it's what I'm currently making my way through, and that is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. I genuinely don't even know how to describe this book series. Luckily, I feel like a lot of people already kind of know what it's about, but like the series is about this assassin who is like forced basically to become the king's assassin, I don't know. She has a specific title for whatever reason, I can't remember it right now. There's just like this really big like war going on, and the king is like really brutal and like basically trying to take out everybody who's not his people and anybody who has like magic, who's fae. So it's like a lot of death, and she just kind of wants to stop it all. It feels like, honestly, so far, this is the 3rd book, it feels like each book kind of has its own very distinct plot, which is kind of fun. But I'm borrowing this book from my library because I don't own the series. Also, I really hate these covers. I hate these covers, and so does my roommate, but the newer covers are honestly gorgeous, and I really love the spines. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but some of them have really pretty spines. So I'm currently on Air Fire, and I'm on page 122. I'm really hoping to finish this before October ends. I don't know if I will or not, but fingers crossed. It's not bad. I think I would enjoy this series a lot more if the writing was a bit different. I'm enjoying the world building, and the characters are enjoyable, but the writing sometimes just like throws me off. But it also is very much a classic YA series, and I feel like that needs to be kept in mind because I think for a while YA series kind of had a certain tone to them, like with Twilight. I doubt I'm gonna pick up, what's it, Queen of Shadows, isn't it? Yeah, Queen of Shadows. I doubt I'm gonna pick it up before the end of the year even. This is just a series I kind of just space out a bit. So that's kind of my update on this. I hope that I can finish the Throne of Glass series in 2024. I don't know if that's gonna be accomplished, but it's kind of a long-term goal, this series. And then maybe I'll start ACOTAR in like 2025 or something, because those books are long, guys. I don't know what you expect from me. Okay, the next book series I need to finish is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I know it feels weird to like prioritize this when I literally just started the series last month, and a lot of these have been in the works for quite a few years, but I started it, now I gotta finish it. I read The Naturals last month, and now I have to read the rest of the series. I do only have the first 2 books, so hopefully in November I can read Killer Instinct. And then when I do break my book buying ban, or when I just like do have the money available to splurge a little bit, I will probably buy the rest of the Natural series so I can finish it. I think my urgency on buying it depends on how much I enjoy Killer Instinct. I talk about the series a lot. It's about this program of teenagers within the FBI who just try and solve all these cold cases, and then they kind of get dragged into a real life case. And so I don't know what the second, third, or fourth books are really about. Like, I think they all kind of have their own distinct like mystery to them, which is honestly really cool, and I love that. Yeah, that's the Naturals. So everybody knows this next book because it is all over Instagram right now, because the third book in the series and the final book just came out the 25th, I think, of October. I really need to finish Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I read this book this last summer. It was in my road trip reading vlog. It was so good. It was so good. And I need to finish the series. The reason I haven't prioritized it are like two things. One, I don't have the sequel because I don't know if they come out in paperback yet or not, like these covers. All my Caraval books are in paperback, and this is in paperback, so I really would like the next two to be in paperback, and so then I just kind of have to wait. And it's probably going to be this winter or whenever I can. I will get The Ballad of Never After from my local library, and I will probably wait until they do have A Curse for True Love like on hand before I end up reading it, just because I want to be able to like read them back to back. But I can't wait to finish the series, and I think if I don't finish it by the end of this year, which I feel like I probably won't, I will definitely start my January out with it. And because I'm starting my January out on like Christmas break, I probably will be able to like get through them. Kind of another one I've talked about quite a bit, but I need to finish the One of Us is Lying series. There's just one more left, and it just came out in July, and I still haven't read it. I do need to finish this book series. Everyone's in danger in this one, really. Everyone from this book and One of Us is Next, like all the characters introduced are all just like in danger now, and somebody's back. I want to finish this series by the end of November. This will be finished before the end of the year, and I will have finished this series. And technically, when the year started, I already had this series finished. I want that to be noted, but another book came out, and it's not my fault. So this one isn't my fault. It just worked out this way. I think at the beginning of this year, which feels so weird to think about, but at the beginning of this year, I reread the 100. And then I was planning on just continuing the rest of the books, and then I got distracted. So I need to finish this series, the 100. I think the next book is called 21 Days, and the third's Homecoming, and then there's a fourth, which I don't have. I need to finish the series. I don't love the writing, I can't say that, but I love the characters. I adore the TV show. The TV show is probably one of my favorite shows. But yeah, I need to finish this one. It's about these 100 teenagers who are sent to the ground after like a couple hundred years up in space because it's like nuclear war, sent humanity up into space, but now they're running out of everything, and so they need to go test the ground. So they send these juvenile delinquents to the ground. Why they thought that was a good idea, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ever gonna actually finish this next book series, but it is a book series I haven't finished, and that is Matched by Ali Condi. I've read this book twice, and it's not a bad book. I enjoy this book, and the idea is really good, I think. I think I just DNF'd the second book when I was reading it, and this was when I was in junior high. I wasn't that interested in it. I think I might give it a chance one day if I just have a lot of free time, don't have a lot of books to like I'm prioritizing or like really want to read. Then I'll probably sit down and finish it. But there are too many books I want to read right now to prioritize this. Does that make sense? It's gonna be done someday, maybe. This one is about this like perfect little society where they like choose your matches, and this girl gets like 2 matches, and there's a big glitch. She falls in love with like the wrong guy. I like some of the aspects of it. I genuinely don't know when I'm gonna finish it. Could be next year, probably not though. It's on the list. Okay, next up. This is a series that started out so good, okay? And anybody who has read this will understand. But this series started out very strong. It went downhill with like each book. But I have all the books in the series, so I need to finish it. Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I know this one is like a big hit or miss with some people. more of a miss though. And I really enjoyed the first book. Like, I really enjoyed the first book, and I think a lot of people did. And it's kind of, you know, one of those iconic book series. I just need to sit down and finish it. I think the writing makes it a bit difficult to just like fly through. It's kind of, I don't know, sometimes it's kind of hard to get through, and the later books get kind of big, and you know, those ones are just harder to get through because of how big they are. And so I just need to sit down and read it. I think I finished King's Cage, and I picked up the second one that I can't remember the name of right now. I think it's Warstorm. I picked that one up, but didn't get that far before I got distracted and like went to go read another book. I just need to go back. I just have Warstorm and then The Broken Throne, and that one is like just like a whole bunch of like short stories about the characters. So really I only have like one full book left in the series, and I can do it. I'll probably need to like look up what happened in these ones. I should probably just get a little refresh before I go into it. The book series is about these people who are split by blood. You have people with red blood who are just like normal, average people, and then the people with silver blood who have powers, they're elite, they're like royalty, and they treat the people with red blood horribly. Like, it's a great concept. I just think it didn't need to be as long as it is, but because it is as long as it is, I need to finish it. Next one. This one kind of has a technicality to it, but that's These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This is a series that the reason I haven't finished it is because when I finished the second book, not all the books had been out. I probably would have read them if they had been out at that time, but because they weren't, I didn't. Technically, Last Violent Call has these two little novellas in it, and that one I think is a direct, like, kind of sequel, two sequel stories to this series. And then I also need to read Foul Lady Fortune, which connects to these books. It involves a prominent character in one of these books, but it is technically a different series. In my head, I consider them to be the same. Like, I group them together, and so it's like I started one, I need to read them all. So that's what I'm gonna do. So technically, These Violent Delights is on my series I need to finish list because of Last Violent Call and Foul Lady Fortune. I talk about this one a lot. 1920s, gang wrong Shanghai, Romeo and Juliet retelling. There's a monster involved that's killing everybody, and they have to work together to figure it out. And their parents obviously aren't happy with that. So that's my quick rapid fire summary, because I feel like I mentioned that in so many of my videos. Okay. Again, if the sequel had been out when I read this book, I would have read it right away. However, it wasn't, so I haven't. That is Gearbreakers, and the sequel is Godslayers. Look at the covers. Just like, look. Just take a moment and just appreciate the beauty of these covers. I just really, really loved Gearbreakers. It was a 5-star read. It's a like sapphic dystopian, government as the villain and enemies to lovers. It has found family, and you have one of the characters who's like trying to figure out her role in the world basically, because she finds out she's basically been on the wrong side of the war the entire time. So like, what's better than that? I mean, really. I remember after I finished this, I was so mad that I had to wait for the sequel, and I had to wait a bit before it came out to buy it, but I eventually did buy Godslayers, and so this one is definitely going to be a read for 2024. Definitely won't be reading it before this year gets out, because there are different books that I want to read to fit the fall and winter vibes, but it is definitely a priority for next year. This book is gonna make people sad because of how it looks, but it's not my fault. Another series I need to read, which is a long-term goal. This one has to be a long-term goal because the books are over like 1,000 pages. It's a Game of Thrones. This is the cover. There is no cover. Dogs ate it. It's sad, I know. My brother gave me this copy. He bought this box set and he had these two. And he was like, well, I have the box set now. Do you want these? And I said, duh, obviously. So then here we are. So I need to read a Game of Thrones. I genuinely don't know how to describe a Game of Thrones. A king just got murdered. Everyone's fighting for the throne. There's a lot of war and death, but I need to finish this series. The second one is A Clash of Kings. I don't have the rest of them. I think I honestly could just thrift the rest of them. So like after I read this, I'll just go to a used bookshop and try and find the third one. And if it's a little bit worn down, it can't be any worse than this. I literally took me, I'm not kidding. This book took me 2 years to finish. I started it so long ago. And then I just read it in small little chunks throughout the years until the end of last year. I like sat down and I was like, I'm gonna finish this. And I finished the last couple hundred pages. And I was honestly really impressed with myself because this book is like 800 pages long. And this one, I think it should be about the same. I'm not expecting it to take me another 2 years to read this, but it will take me a while. And it won't be a priority. So I genuinely don't know when that series is going to be finished because it's such a long-term goal. Next up, okay, like honestly, brings me great joy to say I need to finish the series because it means there's another book to this series. It's Percy Jackson. I need to read Chalice of the Gods because there's a 6th book in the series now, and it just makes me really happy to say that. It is like kind of upsetting that Chalice of the Gods, when I inevitably get it, won't match my copies of Percy Jackson because the style for the covers are just different now. And I think these have been discontinued. So it's gonna kind of suck when Chalice of the Gods don't match that, but it gives me an excuse to buy a whole new set of these and not get rid of my original ones. It's kind of fun saying that I have to finish the Percy Jackson series now because that's not a sentence I have said since about 6th grade. It blows my mind. And then another kind of Percy Jackson-ish book, I really need to finish The Trials of Apollo. I read this book when it came out, and then the reason I didn't finish it was because the rest of the books were out and I just got distracted because I do that a lot. This one is just kind of a spin-off of Percy Jackson and Here's Olympus surrounding Apollo because he got like turned into a mortal as a punishment for what happened in Here's Olympus. My goal is to read Trials of Apollo series before I read Chalice of the Gods. That's better narrative-wise. I'm doing really good on my like getting through Rick Riordan books. I've been doing really good. In fact, this year alone, I've gotten through a lot of his books, so. Some other books that I need to finish that I don't own. I need to finish the 5th Wave series by Rick Yancey. I started this one in junior high, and then the library didn't have the 3rd book, and so I just didn't finish it. And I've been getting the urge to reread this series lately anyways. It may be a thing that happens in 2024. It's an old YA book, so I feel like I'll be able to fly through it pretty well. Definitely need to finish that one. And then there's also A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. I read this one September of last year, and I loved it. I loved it so much. It very much gives like D&D vibes. It deals a lot with like fae. It has found family and it's queer, but it's just like very like fun and cute, but also like kind of dark too. I think there's 4 books in the series. I think only 3 are out right now. I need to read the 2nd and the 3rd, and I don't own this one obviously, so I just need to see if my library has it and hopefully read them in 2024. We'll see. The next one is The House of Dragons. This one is a duology. I read House of Dragons again September of last year. I didn't love this book though. I don't remember what I rated it, but I know I didn't love it as much as I thought I would. So it makes me very hesitant to read the sequel to it. And I can't remember the sequel's name right now, but I genuinely don't know if this is ever going to be one I'm really going to get to. And that's fine. Okay, these next 2 are also ones I genuinely don't know if I'm going to get to because I didn't love the first books. But Gilded Wolves, I feel like this is a crime to say because I adored Six of Crows, and Gilded Wolves is often compared to Six of Crows, but I did not love Gilded Wolves. It just didn't hit right with me. I did like some aspects of it, I'm not gonna lie, but I didn't like where it was going. I didn't like how it went. I think it had a lot of potential though, and I'm really sad I didn't enjoy it, but it is a series I started and haven't finished, so it technically goes on this list. It's just kind of sad that I didn't enjoy the first one. It's just like one of those things, like I started it and I really want to finish it. Same with The Cruel Prince. I kind of had talked about this one a little bit before, but I read The Cruel Prince a really long time ago, and I think I rated it about 2 stars. And I know, okay, I know it's a crime because so many people adore the series, but I just did not. Anyways, Cruel Prince, not on my priority. Neither is Gilded Wolves or House of Dragons. I honestly don't even know if I'm ever really gonna finish these series. But they go on the list because I started them and didn't finish them. Okay, now here's some technicalities. These are books that I have technically finished the series. However, there are prequels or like little sequel novellas. Not really novellas, but like books of stories or kind of just like things relating to the main series. First off, I have the Darkest Mind series by Alexandra Bracken. I read the 3 books, loved them. This little book right here on the end, Through the Dark, I think it's told from Zoo's perspective, and it's like 5 years after everything that went down in the final book. It's like, obviously I really want to read it, but when I finished the book series, I was like, I don't really want to read that right now, so I didn't. But now I just need to like read it just to just to get it done, just to have the closure for the whole series. Another one which feels really weird to say, like I haven't finished, but Cinder. I've read the 4 main Cinder books, but I have yet to read Stars Above. So it has like Scarlet and Wolf's wedding. I think Kai proposes. I think it's just like an extra story for each of the girls and kind of like a little bit more. So I think that's just gonna be really fun and cool. Yeah, I do need to finish those in order to really complete the series technically, but it's just like one of those things where it's like I have read the series, but now there's extras. And now 2 more that I need to read, or not really need to read. I don't know if I'm going to really, but the Maze Runner series, there's 2 prequels, Kill Order and one other one that technically take place before the events of Maze Runner. I enjoyed Maze Runner, I really did. Not as much as some other people did, but I really did enjoy it. I'm just a big YA dystopian girly too, so that also plays a role into it. But I genuinely doubt I'm ever really gonna read those first 2 books. Like, it's not a priority at all. And I have a friend who loved this trilogy, hated the prequels because it surrounds like Teresa, I think, and she really hated Teresa. And so that just really turns me away from it, I'm not gonna lie. Again, probably not gonna be one I actually end up finishing. Now, The Hunger Games just came out with a prequel, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I think that's the title of it. It does have a movie coming out, and I think that if I watch the movie and like really enjoy it, then I will read the book. But right now, it's really not a priority for me because I'm like, I don't care about President Snow. And like, this is gonna sound really bad. And it's been like a while, okay? It's been a really long time since I read the books. I didn't love The Hunger Games. I just didn't like the writing. Like, I loved the concept, I loved the books and like the world, but I didn't love the writing and it was very slow. So I don't know if I'm gonna love A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, but if I really enjoy the movie, then I will give it more consideration. Those are all the series that I've started and have not finished knowingly. There might be like a weird like couple more out there that have been so long since I started that they're not on my like Goodreads or I don't own them. I'm really hoping to really tackle some of these next year, and I know I probably said that at the beginning of this year, but I feel like there are a lot of big books this year that really just distracted me from it, and there's probably going to be a lot of big books next year too, but I really do want to prioritize finishing these and just wrapping them up. So maybe I'll do an update on this video sometime in 2024, just like a little part 2 saying where I am in this journey. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this video. As always, please let me know your thoughts. Please like, subscribe, and comment below. And with great shock, I'm saying I will see you all next week for my October wrap up. Bye!